Hey guys, welcome to A Lovely Yarn episode 14. This is the Christmas edition. As you probably have seen, I did not get around to recording any Vlogmas videos. I recorded quite a bit during this month, but it's the editing. The editing takes such a long time, and I've just had such a busy month that I did not feel like putting the effort into that. I applaud all of you who are doing Vlogmases and who are taking the time. You must be spending so much time getting those edited, especially those of you who do it every day. But I have been watching them. So thank you to those who are putting in the time to make them because they're very interesting. This is going to be like just a mishmash of things because this is bothering me. I have pre-recorded some things because I have wrapped up, well, one gift I wrapped up. So it is not, I still have it, but it's wrapped. I'm going to insert a clip of that in at some point. And then I'm also going, since I did record, I thought I may as well put some of this into the video because I was recording for the sake of Vlogmas. So I will also be slipping that in. I haven't really decided on the order of when I'm going to put things in, but we've done a lot this month. We have been out doing a lot this month, which is it's kind of unusual for us. I think it's happening because our kids are older. We used to stay in a lot more, but I've had a really fun time. My dryer just went off. I've had a really fun time getting out. And we've been to the city a couple times, which is, I love, that's one of my favorite things to do. So at Christmas, it's always so beautiful. So I'm going to put some footage of that on. We actually went to a marketplace in Pittsburgh. It's just a small marketplace. But we did that last weekend, I think. And they had a gingerbread display, which they have every year at PBG Place. And basically that's like a big gingerbread house contest. And so it was really fun to go and look at all the different gingerbread display, entries. Okay, so I am in a hurry today. Friends of mine, we're going out tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it. I was gone all day yesterday, and because I needed to go to Whole Foods to get some stuff for some recipes that I just cannot find here. I live in a rural area, so I have Super Walmart and Aldi, and then we have some smaller independently owned grocery stores. But to find vegan, I mean, we have some stuff. We also have some gluten-free stuff. We have some organic stuff, but it's not easy for me to find everything that I need. So I ran there, but our nearest Whole Foods is an hour away without any traffic. So my mom and I went yesterday and we had a good time. We did our shopping and then she treated me to coffee afterwards at Starbucks because there's a Starbucks. Of course there's a Starbucks right near Whole Foods. So yeah, that was really fun, but I was gone all day yesterday, and then Brad and I had our date night last night, which consisted of us staying at home and wrapping gifts for our kids. Normally, our date night has been Monday night because the kids go to Crave, which is our church's youth group, and they're usually there from 5 until 9 o'clock. So we always go out on a date during that time, but we really wanted to be able to just spread the gifts out in the living room and wrap them. Normally we wait till the last minute and then we're in our bedroom here and it's small and cramped and we're trying to wrap gifts for 3 kids, and it's just, it's fun, but it's better to be able to spread stuff out. And we put on some Christmas movies and had some eggnog, and yeah, it was a good time. So, but today I wanted to squeeze this in before tonight because I knitted some things that I'm taking to give to my friends tonight, and before I wrap them this afternoon, I wanted to go ahead and show those, which I will get to here in a little bit. But yeah, so why don't we get started on the let's do finish objects. Okay, so I have finished multiple things. Oh, this one I cannot show you because it's a test knit. I want to show you, but I can't. And the sad thing, I think, so originally when she originally gave out the deadline, it was December. It was earlier in the month. I can't remember what it was because I did 2 test knits concurrently. But anyway, because this pattern was supposed to be put out earlier than what it is now going to be released. So I think it's going to be released late winter, sometime next year, February, early March. I'm not really sure. I don't even know that she gave the date. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not even saying the designer name. It's someone I love. I've followed on Instagram for a while. I've knitted several of her patterns. And so when I saw this and I saw what it was for, and okay, so it is a shawl. I don't think there's any harm in telling that because you don't even know the designer name. But I had this hand spun that I had spun up earlier in the spring, I think. It was fiber that I had purchased from Carolyn, and I showed it. I've talked about it various times on here, but I just thought I'm going to make that. I'm going to test knit with my hand spun. The bad thing is I ran out when I was almost to the end, so I contacted the designer and I said, hey, I am calculating the numbers as I go to make sure that, you know, everything's right with the pattern as far as like the numbers and, you know, all that stuff. But I don't have enough yarn to finish. And then I thought, well, maybe I can use another hand spun in just like a different shade and kind of fade it in. But I didn't have anything already spun that was similar in weight, or if it wasn't a color that I wanted to put with this particular color that I have. So she was lovely and she said, it's okay, you just whatever. So I ended up having to shorten the pattern a little bit. And I'm not going to show you the pattern, but I'm going to show you the back side of the shawl because I love this yarn. I had so much fun knitting with it. Okay, so I want to show you here because I want you to see. Let me see if I can focus. Okay, so it has like, it's mostly gray, but can you see that? There's some blue, and then down, where was that at? And then we've got like little bits of brown fiber. And it's got a nice little halo to it, as you can see, because it has, I think this is an 80% Angora blend. And then I think the rest is fine wool, which according to Carolyn in Sweden, that's not a particular type of sheep fiber. There we go. So this shawl is humongous. I'm not really sure why. I got gauge using a smaller set of needles than what she had called for in her pattern, which was fine. And you know, using hand spun, it is not as consistent as a mill spun yarn. So maybe that's why it's so much bigger, but I am so happy with it. And I need to block it still, so it's going to be even bigger once I block it. And then I want to get pictures, which that is the worst part. I do not, like, I don't mind doing this, filming myself talking to the camera, but still photos, I just do not like. I don't like when people take my picture. But I want to get really nice pictures for this. When I do a test knit, I do really like to get nice photos because, well, you know, whenever a designer releases a pattern, knitters are looking at those first projects that were the test knit projects, just to get an idea, you know, until that pattern really gets out there and there's lots of projects listed on Ravelry. So I want to take beautiful photos for this. So what I'm going to do is block this after Christmas, have some photos taken, which I think this would be beautiful if it would snow and I could take some photos out in the snow with it. I don't know if that's going to happen because we haven't really been getting snow. We've been getting a lot of rain lately. But if it does, that's my plan. And then I want to be able to wear it but I want to get photos before I just wear it all the time, because then it'll, you know, when you wear it, a hand knit item, it does stretch out and get a little, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. So anyway, that is done. Not saying anything else about that. When she finally releases it, I will do like a whole section on the podcast, on my podcast. Okay, and then I have, where did I put them? There they are, hold on. Okay, so then I did another test knit, and this test knit was for Nora from Fox and Folk. This is not the first time. I think this is the third time I've test knitted for Nora. I love her patterns. She originally released a cowl using this particular color work, what would this be called, like scheme or chart. And then she released that, and then she asked on Instagram, you know, should I do a mitt to match or fingerless gloves? And, you know, I was like, yes. So she released, or she'll be releasing this pattern. I don't know when she's going to be releasing this pattern. Soon, I think, because the deadline to finish was December 15th. I think today's the 18th or the 19th. So I've had them finished for a couple of days. They're already blocked. But these are called the Briar Mitts. They're so cute. They are so cute. I just love them. Okay, so here's the cuff. And then we go into this color work chart, and these are like, they're like little flowers. Yeah. They're so sweet. I really love them. I used a variety of yarn to make these, and honestly, it hardly used any yarn because you can see, like, the color you use the most of is the, like your white and then your main color. But even that, I really did not use that much. So let me get focused again. There we go. I don't even know that I have labels for all of these yarns because basically I just went downstairs to my basket of scrap yarn. And when I say scrap, I mean there's everywhere from like skeins that are just used, like, I don't know, 20 yards used off of them. And then I have little balls of yarn. But this is a Cascade yarn. It's a sport weight, but I don't remember the name. I have no tag. But that was my main color. So that was like this more tan color. And then I had this, which this might be like a nature spun, which is the white. The green is from Knit Picks. It is like their Christmas green. I don't remember because I bought it last year. And then the pink, I think I do have the label for the pink. It was the only one I had a label for. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's like the Ulysses. Such an American. And this is not an American brand. So some people pronounce this so nice. I'm not going to even butcher it. So there you go. And it's in the quartz colorway, and it's a very beautiful pink, very pale pink. I don't even know that that looks pink on camera. But that, I used that part to make this color work contrast, and then the outside of the flowers. Nora's colors that she chose for hers, and even for like the Breyer cowl, which is the cowl version of this, are more differentiated. My colors are pretty close, like the white, this off-white or this tan color, and then the pink are pretty close, but I kind of wanted that. I wanted it more subtle. But I'm excited for it to release because I think it's so fun to see what the other test knitters did. Like, we could see each other's finished photos in our little group that we had for the test knit. And Yeah, it's just fun to see. So I will, when she releases this, I'll put this on my Ravelry page and I'll try to get yarn information listed on there. I'm really bad at keeping my Ravelry page updated. I love being able to look up patterns and see what other people have done, what colors and yarn they have chosen, but I am really bad with that because it's another step on the computer. I don't know. I'd rather just knit it. It's handy. Ravelry is a handy tool. I just have a really hard time keeping my account. Like, I have knit so many more things than what I have listed under my projects on Ravelry, so shame on me. But anyway, these are the Briar Mitts, and they will be releasing, I think, very soon. And again, this is from Nora. This is the designer's name is Nora, and she's Fox and Folk on Instagram. I will link it below, as will I link all the other stuff. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, yeah. I'll show you her version real quick. Wow, the sun's really coming in here bright. So you can see the, maybe see? I don't know, maybe not. It's not really doing a very good job. Really fun, fast, quick knits, and I will be making more. Okay, and then I have, oh, my papers fell down while I was thinking. What else do I want to talk about? Oh yes, okay, so I'm going to show you my, all right, so my friends and I are going out for dinner tonight, and we're going to be doing an ornament exchange. And this was kind of a very last minute idea that I came up with. We had been trying to go do something together. There's 5 of us, and it is so hard because we all have kids, and there's homeschooling and work and life, you know. So I decided, I thought an ornament exchange would be fun. And so did everyone else. So we are going out to dinner, and we are going to exchange ornaments. And it was like anything goes. You could buy, you could make, it didn't really matter. So I made mine, of course, I knitted them. And I just started these Saturday, and I just knitted the last one this morning. But these are the, oh my gosh, they're so cute. They're the little birdies from the Bluebird. I think the pattern's called Bluebird of Happiness. Okay, so the pattern calls for worsted weight yarn, I believe. I did not want to do it in worsted weight yarn. I wanted to do like cute little birdies, so I used fingering weight. I tried to pick fingering weight that was maybe just a tad bit heavy, like some fingering weight yarns are heavier than others. And the reason I wanted to do this, because I didn't want it to be too minuscule, and also with the wrap and turns that you do in this pattern, I think the thicker fingering weight just does a better job of hiding those little holes you sometimes get when you do wrap and turns. So let me show you. Let me just show you what, I wish I knew what the name of all these yarns were. Okay, so here's, oh, let's try this again. There we go. Oh boy, me and focusing. Okay, so here's the first little birdie. And I actually know this is made from, this yarn was on the round in her After the Storm colorway. And my daughter, Lily, when she saw this one, she loved it so much that she requested that I make her one in this exact same yarn, and I've already started that. I casted that on after I finished the last birdie this morning. And then we have another one, which I don't know what this yarn is because I think I got it in a swap, but it's like a minty green color and then with purple in it. They're so much fun. And then we've got this one, which I'm pretty sure is Lichen and Lace in the Pressed Flowers colorway. Yeah, no, I'm positive that's what this is. And then the last one, I have no idea, but I really I like this yarn. I think I made my mom a pair of socks out of this yarn, and I don't even know what the yarn is. Why do I not keep track of these things better? Okay, so this one is the last one I made. So the idea is we each take an ornament for each other and we exchange. So we all end up with 4 ornaments. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap these up really cute after lunch, after I finish filming, and take these tonight. And oh, you know what else I did? Well, first of all, I hardly ever use polyfill to stuff anything. I have so much alpaca fiber that I just use some washed alpaca fiber. Or if I'm spinning and I have some extras, I just try to, instead of throwing that out, I keep it because there's always something that's going to need stuffed when you're a knitter or a crocheter. So I stuffed it with my alpaca fiber, and then I put some essential oil in the stuffing before I closed the bird up. I used this Holiday Joy. Okay, come on. I know it's because it's focusing on my face. I gotta do this, but how do I do that? There we go. Okay, so this is, I used doTERRA oils, and I have this Holiday Joy, and it smells like Christmas. So it's got like, what does it have? Siberian fir, wild orange, clove, cinnamon, Douglas fir, nutmeg, and vanilla. So I just put a couple drops of that into the alpaca stuffing before I closed it up, so they smell like Christmas. I want to make a whole tree full of these, and I thought by the time I finished I'd be tired of them, but I think the reason I did not get tired of them is because, first of all, they're so small, and then second of all, they are all made with different yarn. And so it's really fun to make them with the different yarn. If I would have made all 4 in the same yarn, I think I would have been like really bored after the second. So I have this little tree here that I display in our entryway for Christmas, and then I'll leave it up like into January and February. So what I thought would be really fun I thought it would be fun to like knit up a bunch of these little birds and just hang them on the tree. So maybe I'll do that. They don't take long at all. They're a little finicky. They're a little hard because, I don't know, I don't use double pointed needles a lot unless I'm like finishing toes or, something that I can't use my 9-inch circulars or whatever. So I did have to get used to using the tiny needles. I used a 1.5 US double pointed for those, but once I got halfway through the first one, it was no big deal. So yeah, I can't wait to give those tonight. You okay? I have a dog sleeping there, over here in the sun, and I have a dog sleeping up there. Okay, so right here is where I'm going to insert my last finished object for this podcast. Hey everyone, so I'm inserting this little clip because I'm actually wrapping Christmas gifts today for my extended family, and I wrapped up a gift that I knitted, and I thought, darn, I wanted to podcast about that. Because honestly, I've been knitting a couple test knits, and then working away on, I don't know, my knitting's just been off lately. But anyway, let me show you what I knitted. So there's only a few people that I will gift knit for, and that is because I've grown to know who appreciates it and who doesn't really understand the time that is put into it. One of those people happened to be my mom, and she loves my hand knit socks. So let me show you what I knit her. She has several pairs of my handmade socks. I'm videotaping Lily. And she always says like that she saves them for special occasions because she loves them so much, and she only has, I don't know, 2 or 3 pairs. So here they are. There's one. That's the other one. They're pretty much close. They're not identical, but they're pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty close. So this is Patons Kroy FX in the Cameo colorway. I bought this at Michael's. So this is a pretty economical yarn. I think it was $12 for the yarn to make these socks. And it is sold in, I think, like the skeins are, I don't know, have 183 yards in them. I think that's what it is. So I had to buy 2, and which worked out fairly well. I had just a tiny little ball left from each one. But this yarn is definitely durable. It is makes a very thick fabric, I think these are going to hold up really well. Actually, I have a pair that I knit for myself, not in this colorway, but a different one of the same yarn. And it's a very durable yarn. I really like it. I've got some sun glare coming in. So I cast on 60. I normally do a 64 on a size 2.25 millimeter needle, but I think this is more of a sport weight than fingering. It's listed as a fingering, but I feel like it's definitely a little bit thicker. So when I did the 64, I got probably about this far here, and I realized that they were going to be humongous. So I ripped out and I cast on 60, did 12 to 15 rows of 2x2 ribbing, and then I just did stockinette down to the heel. I have partridge heel and just the Kitchener stitch, which is basically my go-to simple sock pattern. I have it in my head, so I don't have to like carry a pattern around or anything with me. It's nice to have one of those kind of sock patterns to use from time to time. So yes, these are socks for my mom for Christmas. Now I'm gonna wrap them up, and I'll insert this in my podcast when I get around to filming it. Okay, as far as whips go, because I've been doing gift knitting and Christmas related knitting, I haven't really worked on my whips, so I don't really have anything exciting to show you guys for that. I'm just going to show you what what I'm going to get back to. My Fir Socks. This is by Melody Hoffman, bmandarines design. I love these. I really want to work on them. I just had too many things that I had deadlines for. So 2 test knits, done, finished, yay. And ornaments made, and the socks that I just showed you for my mom, those are done. Those are all things that I worked on during the month of December. So now we have dogs barking. So hopefully they're not too disruptive. But anyway, and this is in Woolly Mammoth Fiber Co. Okay, there we go. Love the texture. I love the texture and I love the yarn. So yeah, I'll be starting on these again. And then the other project I've shown you before because I've been working on it for a while and had to put it aside while I did my Christmas knitting, although I have worked on it a little bit just because it's pretty mindless knitting. So it is my Farmhouse shawl by Cabinfour, and it has grown a little bit. This is really pretty cocoa colored. I think this is called Espresso, the colorway. It's Cloudborn, so it's from Craftsy, and it's a worsted weight. And I'm excited to have this because I don't have any plain brown shawls. So this will be nice to have. I'm hoping maybe by the next podcast I'll have this done. And you put fringe along the edges of it. It's so cute. And that's all I got, folks, for works in progress. So not real exciting because I've shown you both of those before. Okay, so I want to tell you about I talked about Peace Fleece yarn on my last podcast, and one of my viewers sent me some. She wrote me after that. I think she commented, or maybe she sent me a message on Instagram and said that she used Peace Fleece and she didn't like it, so she wanted to send me the remainder of the skein that she had. So I could try it out, because the whole reason I was talking about Peace Fleece was because I wanted to knit another weekender sweater, and I wanted to do it in a particular color of this Peace Fleece that I really, really liked. But I knew it was pretty rustic wool, so I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to tolerate it before I knit a whole sweater out of it. and invested the money for a sweater's quantity of that yarn. So Carrie, and her Instagram name is Carrie on the Coast, I'll link her below. She sent me not only the piece fleece, but she sent me a bunch of goodies, lots of yarn, which I don't have. I showed it on my Instagram feed. This project bag, which I was using for my Briar Mitts. Everything else is downstairs in my studio, but here is the piece fleece. And this color is a very mauve-y color, which, go figure, I don't remember what the name of it is. Darn. But the really weird thing is this was the exact color that I was going to order, and this was the color Carrie sent me. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so let me see if I can... Okay, so this is probably more of an accurate representation of this color. And, okay, so I'm hoping I don't repeat anything because my camera stopped filming because my battery was low, which you will see in the next little clip. I talk about that because I saw that it was low and it had turned off, but it actually stopped filming way before it showed me that it stopped filming. So I am going back and I'm hoping that I don't repeat myself, but I may. It happens. Okay, so Carrie actually had included a swatch that she must have made when she was trying to figure out a gauge or something. So I was kind of putting this up against my neck to see how it felt as far as the itchiness factor, and it is a bit prickly, but it's not overly prickly. I've definitely felt yarn that is more rustic. Does this have mohair in it? Now I'm trying to remember what it must, because you can see, like, I don't know if you can see that. You can, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, like you can see the fibers sticking up. I'm trying to remember if this has, it may not have mohair. I don't know. It is a little itchy, but I think I could do it. I had a couple people suggest wearing a long sleeve t-shirt underneath it, and I don't know how that would work, because when I wear my wool sweaters that I've hand knit, I'm always pretty warm. It's amazing the difference between 100% wool garments and garments that you would buy at the store that have man-made materials in them, like polyester and acrylic and stuff. It's just a really big difference as far as warmth factor goes. So normally when I wear my hand knit sweaters, I am getting pretty warm, and we keep our house around 69 degrees. So I think that if I would put a long sleeve t-shirt on underneath a wool sweater, and this feels like it would be pretty warm, I just feel like I'd be really, really hot, and I'd have to turn the heat down like to 65 or something, and I don't think anybody else in my family would like that. So I don't know about the t-shirt, the long sleeve t-shirt underneath. I'm gonna think about this. I'm gonna think about it. I think I could probably tolerate it, but I don't know that I'd wear it a lot. Like I wear my other weekender that's made out of the shepherd's wool because it's super soft. So I put like a cami underneath it, and that's what I wear under that. So it's like touching my arms and my neck, and it doesn't bother me at all. It's really soft yarn. Yeah, so also with Carrie, so she sent me this, and she sent me 12 mini skeins, which were actually pretty big mini skeins. I think she had, when she watched my last podcast, I had mentioned how last year I had done a 12 Days of Christmas mini skein exchange, and that I had not found anyone to exchange with me. I didn't pursue that. So she sent me that, and in addition to the project bag, which I'm pretty sure I already showed you before my camera shut off, and some journaling pens because I journal, and there was some tea in there, a full skein of Old Soul Fiber Co, and a really cute pin. Just a really super thoughtful package, and it was just like perfect because it was very, like, all the colors were very me, colors that I would naturally choose. So I am sending Carrie a package. I went to town a couple of days ago. We have a shop in our local, in the town that's a few minutes away, that carries a lot of stuff from, like, people in the area or in the Western Pennsylvania area. So I got her some goodies, some local goodies, and then I'm gonna send her some other things, some yarn and some other things. But my original intent was to get that package out last week, but I didn't. So I'm hoping to get that out this week. Carrie, if you're watching, I highly doubt it's gonna get to you before Christmas, but hopefully not too long after that. So thank you so much. I loved everything you sent me. Okay, so now you're going to transition into footage that I actually recorded an hour ago. So it may not be a real smooth transition, I'm just warning you. And I think I'm saying something about, like, Carrie and her family went to Hawaii on vacation, so it's okay that I haven't sent it yet, or something like that. And then I'm hoping when I go and I rewatch the footage as I'm editing it, that there weren't more times that my camera shut off. And if there was, I'm sorry, you're just going to get a really fragmented podcast. It's the editing that gets me. If you are a podcaster, this is what I really, okay, if you're a podcaster, please tell me what editing software you use. I would love it if it were free, but I will pay a little bit of money for it. And also, I use Splice when I do videos on my iPhone, but when I record a regular podcast, I do this on my Nikon. And so I know that they don't make Splice for, like, a laptop computer. I already looked into that. So somebody had suggested Lightworks, which I did put on to my computer, and I've tried using it a couple times, but I've never been able to get it to work right. It seems that I can't import photos directly from my camera or phone for some reason, and maybe I'm just doing something wrong. I love to do the actual, like, podcasting. It's the editing, it kind of stresses me out. So if you have a suggestion for an easy software that you can edit videos, please let me know. I'd love to be able to add music, and I'd love to be able to cut the footage and be able to splice it in where I want it. The editing software that came with my computer, I cannot do that. I can't take a fragment of video and chop it up into smaller pieces and put those in at various places. I have to, if I take a piece of the video off, it's done. It's kind of weird, but anyway. Okay, guys, this is going to be a really, really rough transition into the next little bit. I think there's only like 58 minutes of me concluding my podcast, but yeah, so let's get on to that. My camera just turned off. As I was saying, Carrie has been in Hawaii. They went on a family vacation. So I wasn't in a real rush to send it, but I want to get it out this week before Christmas. But Carrie, you may not get it before Christmas. You probably won't. But you'll have it to open afterwards. And I hope you won't be disappointed. I hope my camera shut off because, oh, my battery's low. Darn, I even charged it. That's a bummer. Well, I think then I'm just going to wrap this up because my battery is just about dead. So I hope you guys have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas, because I'm probably not going to be seeing you before that. It looks like I'm averaging 2 to 3 weeks between podcasts, which is what works for me. So thank you so much for watching. Again, all the links for everything I've mentioned will be down below unless I forget something, which is highly possible. All right, guys, take care.